We are live. I know I can hear and I can see my mic moving. So hopefully you can as well. I'm going to go ahead and get started over here on Facebook here in a second as well. Let's see. Let's hit this. Boom, bang. Stream to Facebook business. All right. Bada bing, bada boom. And all right. So we are there as well. Cool, cool, cool. Everything is seen. I just want to make sure. And we're at 30p there. Webcam wise, want to make sure we're good. Let's go ahead and adjust this video output. Make sure we're straight there. So with the 30, apply. Okay. All right, all right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let's go ahead and hit this record button. And we are set. All right, y'all. Here we go. I'm just waiting for this thing to actually start recording me. It's the important part. All right. So today I'm going to talk about how you can start a coaching business without being like everybody else, without getting lost in the sauce, and without becoming seen as a scam. So today I'm going to talk about all these things. And again, who am I? I'm Justin, founder of AutomationMaster.net, here to help coaches and speakers create automated systems that save you time and generate you more revenue. And first off, I'm not a coach. I don't consider myself an automation coach. Yeah, certainly in my services, I do coaching, but I really run a business that is based off service. So my point and my position here is to help you save time, right? So you can focus on the things that you do. So there's an actual deliverable that I bring. And it took me a while to get to that point. Okay, so that didn't happen overnight. It wasn't instant. And it wasn't an easy decision to make. Okay, so I see myself as a consultant first. I am a founder of an agency second. Okay. And then thirdly, of course, there's some coaching that goes into any point where you're helping someone else get to the result they want to get to. So coaching is always part of it, but it's not the primary thing. And so I want y'all to really just understand that as we hop into this, that coaching is a part of it, but it's not the primary thing, right? And so with that little shift, you start to detach yourself from the rest of the market and creating a business that serves your clients and also a business that can serve beyond this label that often gets on people that end up as coaches. Now, for me, again, I started out as a coach. Started out in the space of mindfulness, right, and mindset and positivity. I had a brand that was called New Future Builder. Still here on Facebook. I'm still over on YouTube, right? If y'all search it, it's still there. I haven't done videos for it in quite some time. Shame on me for that. But that was my mindset brand. Now that came from because in the time that I started, again, coaching and speaking and being motivational was like the thing. And so it was easy for all of us to get caught in. It was easy for me to get caught in that space, that storm of it's cool, it's the thing, like being a motivational speaker, being a motivational life coach is like the thing to do. It's very admirable. It's very positive. And no matter how old you are, right? Like, cause at that point in time, I was in my, I think mid to earlier 20s. It was the thing to do. And so like, I want to kind of make the shift and give you some perspective that'll help you in again, launching the right way in 2021 and show you and talk about some things that I see among the popular and successful coaches that I work with. Okay. So again, I'll talk a little bit about my perspective and then also my clients, because I have clients that are making money, that are successful, that are doing this stuff full time. And I know that's what you all want to get to. So I just want to give y'all a different shift in perspective on how to get that done. Now, if you are a coach or a speaker and you want to actually be more successful, use the power of automation to do so. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like, you follow wherever you're watching this on Facebook or over on YouTube, what have you. Just make sure that you keep us up with us in those spaces. Okay, so first thing, again, how I started, right? Because again, I started as a motivational speaker. And I went and I was trying to do my own events, and I was doing stuff locally at a library. I don't know if I did one or two libraries. I think it was like one library I was doing most of my things out of, inviting friends and family, things like that. I think I did a hotel gig thing too. And this wasn't having much success, right? It just wasn't. I had some friends and family show up, which was great, but I wasn't able to reach a wider audience. Essentially, I ended up paying to play to get on a bigger stage, and that worked out. I got all the attention I wanted, but I didn't get the revenue I was looking for, right? So at the end of the day, like I put all this work into this presentation, right? Thought I had put together the website, put together the system, and I thought I had it all right. At the end of the day, I walked away empty-handed. And not because I wasn't passionate, not because I didn't have this idea of really helping and serving people, not because I wasn't a good person, and it certainly wasn't because I didn't have something to offer, because I felt like I did. And looking back, I did have something to offer. I just didn't have the right things in place. I didn't know how to use automation to my favor. I didn't know how to write the right prospecting system. Didn't know how to focus my time. I didn't know that a website was a waste of time. I didn't know what systems I needed in my business. Ultimately, I was in the wrong places with the wrong focus in terms of making sure I was starting off and doing the right thing. And that brought me to the point where I had to look and see what the other successful coaches were doing. That forced me to then take a look at myself and kind of observe how I spent my time. And so I decided it was time to stop doing and going alone and to get a mentor, right? So I went and got a couple of mentors, actually. I was blessed in that. Got a couple of mentors, worked under them, like hard, doing a lot of work, unpaid work a lot of times, and just showing up. And after showing up for quite some time, got to work under them. And then I worked myself up the ranks with them to the point where I became their tech officer, their chief tech officer of the company. And that's where I kind of got in this automation space, right? But I had a chance over those years to learn, again, how they were successful. And then also look at the clients that we brought in and what made the difference between the ones that made it and the ones that didn't. Because again, we had plenty of folks that came in and some of them worked out well and some of them didn't, right? And it wasn't because they weren't good people. Again, it wasn't because they didn't have something to offer. There were just some differences. And so today I'm going to go through 5 different things I want you to consider that will help you launch successfully. This is not, I need to go get an LLC. This is not, I need to make sure I have a lawyer. This is not making sure, like, no, it's not that. This is 5 really practical, I feel like are practical things that you should keep in mind that will really get you out of a couple scenarios. 1, stop you from being stuck. So many of you have ideas. Many of you want to start a business, but for whatever reason, you're still in that idea phase and it's not working out for you. 2, you're getting stuck being everyone else. I remember going to a networking event. I was trying to explain what I was doing back in the New Future Bitter days. And I caught myself having to have this entire essay mentally in order to explain how I worked with people and how I was different from the next person. Okay, because if I said, yeah, I'm a motivational coach, and it's like, oh, well, okay. And so I instantly always got these responses where it was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Cool. And then I know in their brain is saying, loser, right? Like those are the things they were saying in their mind. So I wanted to do something that separated myself, right, from those people. That was the last thing. And then thirdly, there is a lot of information online about how all these coaching programs and things are scams. And so I don't want you to be caught in that, right? Because there's a group of people that do get lumped into that space. I don't want you to be that person. So I'm going to talk about that as well. So again, these are 5 things that you need to do in order to launch successfully anytime, especially in 2021 or whenever you're seeing this, okay? And to be able to set yourself apart and be more successful. So the first thing, and it really is the key thing I kind of been hinting on, is to be different. Be different. So number 1 is to be different. Now, there are 1,000,001 people that consider themselves life coaches. Okay. There's nothing wrong with being a life coach. The problem is your song sounds the same as everyone else's song. And so when you're listening to the radio, when you're listening to a speech, when you're reading a book, when you're watching a show, the worst thing that can happen to that show, to that thing, is it sounds like everything else. When you're a parent and you're getting older and you're listening to some of the younger music, right? It starts to listen and sound like everything else, right? Like it just sounds bad. And so life coach, career business coach, success coach, guru, expert, some of those things get put in a bucket where you're all the same. Now, that's the bad side. The thing is, there's hope, because within that, and I know you've heard that the riches are in the niches. I wish I was exaggerating. I wish that was cliche. I wish there was like some falsehood to that, but there's pure truth. The riches are in the niches. And let me kind of take it into another thing. It's not that you don't understand that a niche is important. It's your comfort in niching down is the problem. And so what I want you to understand is be confident and be comfortable being different. That means within the life coaching space, business coaching space, financial coaching space, how can you differentiate yourself from the next person in terms of who you serve? Do you only serve people in a certain area? Because there's certain things that area have a certain impact on those people that are different than the next state, the next county, the next community, right? So that's one thing. Is a certain people, like you serve only men, serve only women, black women, white women, like, I mean, like whatever. You serve Chinese, Asian, Japanese, like you serve people certain like cultures, religions, you serve people a certain race, like all those things matter, right? All those things matter. I know somebody's gonna be like, well, if you serve only white people, then it becomes a problem. Look, I get it. I'm talking about from a business standpoint, right? Not even getting into politics, all that stuff. If you niche down in the people you serve, I mean, let's be real. If you niche down, even if that category may seem as a negative for you, it could be a positive. Right. So I'm just speaking from a broad standpoint. Even folks may see it as negative, the people in that segment will see it as a positive because you're speaking directly to them and you can strongly identify and help them with their problems. And again, it gives you a chance to sound different from the next person. So that's one. Okay. Keep that thought in mind because it'll help us in the fifth point I'm going to get to. Okay. Keep that thought in mind because it'll help us to get to the fifth point that we're going to get into. Okay, so that's number one. All right, just checking here, making sure everything's good in the stream. Perfect. Number two, plan out the business. Now, when I say plan out the business, again, I don't mean pick what LLCs and all that stuff. That stuff's important. That's not my realm of space and expertise. And so that's not what I'm going to talk about. But whether you get an LLC or sole proprietor or you just don't even do all that stuff, that's not the determining factor. Now, that stuff helps later down the line to make sure you protect yourself. That's one thing. But the important part is planning out from a sense of what do you see for your business? What do you expect out of your business? What things have you envisioned in your business? And not just from I need a vision board, make sure I have a car in front of me kind of thing. That's not what I mean. I mean, how will you operate in your business? As in, on a day-to-day basis, what things will you need to do? How will you serve your clients? Right? Where you're going to show up? When you're going to show up? How many days you're going to show up? You can be doing live streams every Tuesday like myself. Are you going to be serving your clients on Wednesdays every week? Are you going to be doing things on the weekends or not? Like map those things out and then bring it back and then talk about the journey you want your customer to go through. Are they going to get to you via a landing page? Are they going to go through a website? Are they going to find you on Instagram? And then they're going to go into an automated webinar. And then that webinar is going to take them into a membership or a course that I have a certification. You're going to have a member area. They're going to get a certain set of emails to notify them. Like, what does their customer journey actually look like within your business? These things are important. It helps for you to have a system in place. Eric Thomas, okay, so Eric Thomas is a guy I follow. He was also one of the reasons I really got into motivational speaking at first initially, okay? And he talked about how initially he was sweet, right? Like he was good. He's putting the stuff out. Content was hot. But it wasn't until he brought on CJ and CJ forced him to have a system in place that they started to blow up from their bottom line, right? Like that's when their bottom line truly started to shoot out the gate, was when they finally put systems in place. So half the battle having the right systems is mapping out what your business looks like so you can start to piece those things together. Okay? So that's number 2. Number 3, in terms of launching your business, is don't waste time. Too many of you are going to waste your time trying to figure out whether you need a C Corp, S Corp, LLC, partnership, sole proprietor. Many of you are going to waste time trying to trademark the proper name, trying to make sure you don't get copyright and making sure you got NDAs and all this stuff in place. Many of you will waste time. Many of you are going to waste time going through setting up your logos. You're going to be wasting time on what colors. You're going to waste time on picking the right websites. So again, there is a lot that you're going to waste time doing. So the key part is to make sure you're not wasting time on the things that don't matter. The things that don't serve your business, you don't need to be spending and wasting your time on. Understand that's a problem in your business right now. So again, that's number 3, is making sure that you're not wasting time within your business. So that's number 3. Number 4 is after you've taken a look, okay, you decide you're going to be different. You mapped everything out, okay, decided you're not going to waste time on things that don't matter. Now it's actually time to put that system together. People have thrown out the term funnels, right? And funnels is this like broadly used term, okay? And it can be a thing that can discourage you because it sounds so, again, it has this bad connotation now because everybody uses funnels and they use it for the wrong reasons, or at least it gets termed in the wrong way. But really what people mean as a funnel is, it really is that physical. When I say physical, it is a physical digital way that your customer journey has shown up online or in your brick and mortar, whatever it is. So you need a funnel in whatever you do, whether that funnel is a website, whether that funnel is done via the phone, people calling and setting appointments, whether that funnel is done via messaging, text messaging, whether that funnel is done via ads, whatever it is, there are many ways to do a funnel. So there's not one way to do one. It's just important that you have one. And so don't let people talking in this idea that like what you're doing is not a funnel. So that because you can do this without having a funnel. It's like, no, it's still technically a funnel. It just looks, it's a different type of funnel, right? So the problem is pick your funnel, right? Figure out what kind of funnel works for you and then put it in place, right? But there are many different types of funnels. So don't let people say, hey, there's no funnel that I use. I see a bunch of ads and they're like, yeah, do this without funnels. But then you look at their business and their business has a funnel, right? Like you look at their business and their business has a funnel. You look at their ad and their ad uses a funnel. Like there's too much of this stuff where it's like, hey, look at the business still has a funnel. Like it perplexes me. It's like, yeah, create this business without a funnel, but you use a funnel. And then you go to their training and it's still a funnel, right? Like it's just a shorter funnel or a simpler funnel or a different type of funnel, but it's still a funnel, right? So at the end of the day, a funnel is really just a process you use to set up that customer journey from not knowing you to investing in you. And that's really what it is. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't have to be as complicated, as scary as getting like a ClickFunnels account or having a messenger bot set up. Like a funnel really just is a designated system you have from taking someone from not knowing you and guiding them through, educating them on why they need to solve their problem and why you are the answer to that problem. Don't let anyone tell you different in terms of what a funnel is. Now, in terms of my standpoint, again, I'm an automator guy, right? So I feel like you should have some technology that makes that funnel simple for you and the potential customer. That's the power of technology, right? So that's that piece. The last thing, and again, I said I was going to tie onto the first one, is to serve on a high level. This is where coaches really get lost in terms of being stuck with everyone else. So when I decided to make my shift into automation, I decided a long time ago I just wasn't going to do a course. Okay, I said I was going to take the tough road and actually work in helping people set stuff up, right? I was going to work in the space of helping people implement pieces. I was going to work in the space of doing and not just doing courses because that's what everyone else is doing. I was going to give somebody a tangible because it allowed me to set myself apart. And it was a result that people could get that was clear, and it couldn't be put in this bucket of, oh, it's just a scam. You know, they gave me this course, didn't work, or I never, like, it was very straightforward. Either I deliver or I don't. Now, if I don't deliver, I'm a scam. But if I do, then I'm doing what I promised, right? And that's very straightforward to do. It's hard work, but it's something I dedicated myself to. And so whatever you do, decide you're going to serve on a high level. Now, the beauty is the more that you niche down, the more specific about who you serve, the easier it actually is for you to serve them. Because if you go into this and you have to say, hey, I do these 5,000 different things, now you have to serve 5,000 different things. If you're not clear on who you serve, then it's hard for you to also define the result that they are going to get. And therefore, it's harder to guide them toward that result. But yet, again, if you're very clear about who you help and what you do for them in a specific space, it actually makes it easier for you to do your thing and be able to be amazing at it and be able to actually relate to those people. Again, if you are only working with a segment of people you are familiar with, so again, if you work if like you're a military vet, you could do a program where you're working with vets. It's going to be easier for you to have a conversation with a vet than it is for somebody who's never been in the military. You have something in common already. It builds up a certain level of trust. And believe it or not, that level of trust goes far when it comes to just even how it is perceived in terms of how well you're doing, right? Like, I know that, think what you want about that, but that is how it works. Somebody could, and this is kind of how I break it down, is I could go to the store, right? And I could go buy, so if I say I'm hungry and I want to get pizza, okay? And if I go get 2 pizzas and I go and I get Domino's, I love Domino's. I can eat the Domino's pizza and be very happy with it because I love Domino's. So I'm automatically going to think that it's the better pizza. I can eat another pizza from some other place and be like, it's okay. Because I don't really know, or I'm not really excited about the place, right? The pizzas could be just as good, but my perceived value of the Domino's one may be better because I enjoy Domino's more, right? Like, it's just that. And again, that helps you, again, serve on a higher level when you have something in common and you can create that powerful bond or relationship that ultimately allows people to enjoy your services more, okay? And so that's why I love what I do now, because I'm able to work with people who are in the space that I know and I'm comfortable in. And so I get to be able to make decisions and help them in ways that only I can because I've been working in this space for so long. If I was working with somebody who's doing other things outside of coaching and speaking, I can help them, but it's not going to be as powerful in terms of how I can relate and what I can talk about that serves them. So again, those are the 5 things. Again, be different, have a plan, don't waste time, have a funnel or system in place, and then lastly, make sure that you serve on a high level, period. Okay? And that's it. All right, so hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like, make you share, you follow. Share this with a friend, family member, or a foe because they need this information too. I appreciate you and all that you do. I'll see y'all in the next one. And as usual, treat each day as a building block to a better future. Peace.